Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to use up some leftover potatoes. So come on, go with me and let me go show you some different ways you can use those taters you've got hanging out in your fridge. Alright, for this recipe I've got me an iron skillet. I've put it on my stove top, I've turned it on medium heat, and I have put some oil in it. You use whatever oil you want to use, but we're going to be doing a little frying today. I've got around a cup of leftover mashed potatoes. Now this recipe calls for 1 egg, but even though I have eggs, I'm going to show you how to make this with an egg substitute. So one way that you could do this is by using mayonnaise. For 1 cup, you're going to need about 1.5 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Now, if you're using 2 cups of potatoes, you're going to need about 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise because you need 1 egg for every 2 cups of potatoes. We're just going to put some mayo in there. We're going to call that good. I'm just going to get that stirred around in there. Now this recipe calls for salt. I'm not going to put any salt in mine because I know that my potatoes were already salted because they're left over. I am going to go ahead and add in some black pepper. Some onion powder. And some garlic powder. Now I'm just seasoning to taste. I'll leave a recipe in the description box below for the exact amounts that you should use. Now if you want to add just a little kick to it, you can put you some cayenne pepper or some red pepper flakes in it. Season yours however you want to season it. But I'm going to get those seasonings mixed in. Next I'm going to add some green onion. Now, I'm not going to add this whole container, but I had chopped up 1 whole green onion and I just put it in this little bowl right here. So I'm just going to use however much I feel like I need to use to flavor mine. I do like green onion, so I'm going to put just a little bit more. Well, I might as well have put it all. Let's just go ahead. Next, I'm going to add some shredded cheese to mine. You don't have to. Just mix it up. And last but not least, you're going to need to use some flour. Now, it doesn't matter if you use self-rising or plain, but for 1 cup of potatoes, you're going to need about 1/8 of a cup of flour. And now y'all know me, half the time I don't measure, so I'm just going to pour a little bit in here and hope that I don't get too much. I'm going to start with that. I'm just going to get that mixed up in here with everything else. I'm going to add in just a little bit more. And here's what it looks like. Now you could add in some bacon if you wanted to, or bacon bits. You could patty these out and put panko breadcrumbs on them before you fry them. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to use mine like this. I'm going to patty them out and we're going to put them in that skillet back there. I think my oil's good and hot. So I'm just going to take these, kind of patty them out just a little bit. I don't want them real thick. Just kind of like that. And I'm going to place them in that oil. I'm going to do the rest of them the same way. So it looks like I'm going to get about 6. And I'm hoping that I'm not going to crowd these out too bad. Let's get those fried to a golden brown. Going to kind of shift them a little bit so as not to crowd them out. You don't want to crowd when you're frying. I think the first one's maybe ready to go ahead and flip over. Yeah, that's nice and golden brown. Okay, I've got them all flipped. Just letting them brown up on that other side. We'll check on them in just a few minutes. I think some of these are ready, so I'm going to go ahead and take them up. I tore this one slap up trying to get it out of that pan. That one was trying to stick on me. Just waiting on the last two, and we'll let them cool and give them a taste. But now we're not going to let them cool completely. So don't get me wrong on that. We're going to let them cool slightly. Then we're going to give them a taste. I almost let that one cook too long. That one's going to be nice and crunchy though. Let's get this last one out. Alright. There we go. Potato cakes. Okay, y'all. We've got our fried potato cakes. Got one right here. They look delicious, smell delicious. So let's give it a taste. Oh yeah. That's delicious. I don't eat fried foods very often. Most of the time I cook things in the oven. And I have a new air fryer coming, so I was having issues with mine. That's why you haven't seen me use an air fryer. Finally broke down and said, hey, it's time to buy one. So I did. Anyway, these wouldn't be good in the oven, I don't think. So I did fry them. That's the southern way to do it, right? Anyway, these are delicious. Give them a try. If you have leftover potatoes, that's a good way to use them if it's leftover mashed potatoes. I have some other leftover potatoes in my fridge. So I'll meet you at the next recipe. Okay, y'all. This recipe right here, if you've watched a previous video where Keith was at home and I was showing different meals in that video that I cooked while he was here, we had some stewed potatoes. Now we had a little bit of those left over. This is fresh out of the fridge. So this is just a few potatoes in there, and I kept some of the juice. If you can see that, there's some potatoes in there. Like I said, fresh out of the fridge. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in this pot back here. Now that don't look like much of nothing right now, but just stay with me. We're going to cook a delicious dinner with this right here. We're going to add some more ingredients that I need to clean out of my fridge. Now right now I'm going to turn this on a low heat so that can start heating up while I prepare some other things that are going in that pot. Now I've got me a pan back here on this back stove. I've got it on a medium heat, and I'm going to take some butter. I'm going to put me about a tablespoon of butter off in this pan back here, and I'm going to let it start melting down. And now in the meantime, I'm going to take a little bit of onion, and I'm just going to slice me some up right here. Now if you don't like onion, don't put it in. I'm just going to do just a little bit to start with because this is going to be a small pot of soup. Now I know y'all have seen me make potato soup before. I don't know that I've ever made it out of leftover stewed potatoes. So, but a potato's a potato in my world. So I think it's going to be delicious. Now I've also got a few pieces of celery that's been hanging out in my fridge. I don't even know how long this has been in there. It's still good, but I am going to cut the ends off. And then we'll go from there. See, it's perfectly fine, but I don't even know how long it's been in there. So I'm going to move this to the side. That butter's still trying to get melted down. And I'm going to take this, I'm just going to cut it in small pieces. What we're going to do is I'm going to saute the celery and onion in that butter. Got me a second little small piece of celery. I'm just trying to use up and get rid of things that are hanging out in my fridge that need to go before they go bad, because I don't like to throw food away if I can help it. And I think I'm probably going to go with one more piece of celery. And there we go. My butter's melted down. Now let's get this off into that skillet. Just saute it up. Now there's not nearly enough liquid in that pot back there with those stewed potatoes. So I've got a cup of water, and I'm going to put a teaspoon of this chicken bouillon, it's the powdered kind, into that water. I'm going to get that all mixed up. Now that I've got that all mixed up, I'm just going to pour it in this pot back here. Just get that stirred around and mixed in with my stewed potatoes. Now my onions and celery are almost finished back here, so I'm going to take some minced garlic, measure with your heart, and I'm just going to throw about that much off in that pan. You just want to cook that for just a minute or two. That garlic is going to start getting very fragrant, but you don't want to burn it, so keep a close eye on that. Okay, my celery and onions and garlic are ready. We're going to put it off in this pot back here with the potatoes. Just get that all stirred in. I'm going to get all that stirred around. Now I don't have enough potatoes in this potato soup, so I have a few more of those little potatoes left, and I'm going to start with just 3 of those, and we're going to get these cut up and put off in that pot of soup. I am going to cut these, I think, in quarters. Even though they're small potatoes, I want them to cook fairly quickly, because my other potatoes are already done, and if they get a little too done, that's okay, because with potato soup you can mash those potatoes up if you'd like. Alright, let's get these off in that pot. I think we'll add a few more potatoes. I'm cutting these in even smaller pieces than the first 3. This is just 3 more. These are those little small yellow, the butter potatoes, I think they are. I'm not sure what they're called. Some kind of little tiny gold potatoes. The little bitty ones. Anyway, we're going to get these put in the soup. Now you can see it has started to come to a boil, and that's what I want. So I'm going to put these off in there. We're going to get them stirred in. I think that's going to be enough liquid. Now we're just going to let these potatoes cook until they're tender. Now my soup is just a boiling back here. I'm not going to add any salt in because my chicken bouillon has salt in it, and I know that I salted those potatoes the other night, so we're not adding no salt. I am going to add some pepper though. Lots of it too. I'm just going to get that stirred up in there. You know, I had these potatoes sitting off in that refrigerator and I didn't have a clue what I was going to do with them. I just knew I didn't want to throw them out because I don't like to throw food out. Well, here in Alabama where I live, we've been having temperatures every day the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 days at least, in the upper 70s. And get up this morning, I think our high today was 45. So it's the perfect day for some soup. That's when I knew what I was making with those leftover stewed potatoes. A nice comforting bowl of potato soup. These potatoes are not quite done, so I'm going to let them continue to cook for at least 5 more minutes. We'll check them again. Okay, I have turned this down to a low. My potatoes are done and I'm kind of mashing some of those up just a little bit. I don't want mashed potatoes, but I do want some of them kind of mashed up to help thicken it up a little bit. And I am going to add in some heavy whipping cream. Okay, I show you the good, the bad, the ugly. I went to shake it up and apparently my top wasn't on it very good. So we've got kind of a mess. Because it's all over me. Okay. And I've already had a shower. So let me go get changed and we'll finish up this soup. Lord have mercy. Okay, let's try this one more time. We're going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream in. I'm not going to measure this. I'm just pouring it in. Let's try to make sure I get that lid on there good and tight this time. I'm the only one here and Keith doesn't use heavy whipping cream, so that was a me deal right there. The mess wasn't averted, but it has been cleaned up. So, I mean, it was in the floor, all down the front of the stove. That's a mess. This is looking delicious. I'm going to let this simmer for about 5 more minutes and then we'll get it dished up. Here's my delicious potato soup. Oh, it looks and smells so good. But I'm going to get some put in this bowl right here. I did leave the skins on my potatoes. You don't have to. I just preferred to do them that way. This is going to be so good because the temperature has already started dropping outside. So we're down close to 38, 40 degrees right now. I'm going to pour the rest of that in there. That made the perfect bowl of soup for me. Now this looks delicious just as is, but y'all know me now. Y'all know I'm going to jazz it up just a little bit more. I'm going to take some of my mild white cheddar that's shredded. And I'm going to sprinkle some of that onto it. I'm also going to add on some bacon bits. We can't forget the green onions. And I'm going to sprinkle on a little parsley flakes, just for good measure. Now this right here is a good looking bowl of soup. Let's give it a taste. Hey y'all, told y'all, I had to go change. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Life shall go on. We're going to taste this soup right here. Y'all saw what it looked like, so I'm not going to dump it out on the floor because that would be next. I'm telling you, that would be next. So here we go. Oh, that's delicious. Who knew? Wow, that's good. Who knew you could take stewed potatoes left over in the fridge, add a few more ingredients, and turn it into a delicious pot of potato soup. I'm gonna go eat. This third recipe involving leftover potatoes also involves some other leftovers from cooking on the Blackstone yesterday. Now, you haven't seen that video yet. I believe I have that video scheduled for Saturday, but here's some of the leftovers from my Blackstone cooking. But one of those was potatoes. Okay, we've got some potatoes and we've got some veggies right here. And this is chicken. So I'm going to get this thrown in the air fryer to just heat it up really quick, and I'll show you what we're going to make. I finally broke down and purchased a new air fryer. I've been needing a new one for at least a year, if not longer, and I just kept not ordering one. So I finally did it, and it came the other day. So we're going to heat these leftovers up in here so we can get it done quickly. Now the potatoes are what we're really going for in this video, because this is a video about using up leftover potatoes. So we're going to get those in there. But I did also have some leftover veggies that were cooked on the Blackstone, so we're going to put those in here too. And last but not least is my chicken. Now, this was one chicken thigh that was cooked on the Blackstone, and I'm just going to put it right here on the end. Just like that. I'm going to pop this in the air fryer on 360 for about 2 minutes, and we'll check it. I just need it heated through. Now, in the meantime, while my food is heating up in the air fryer, I've got me a cast iron griddle back here, and I'm going to turn that on a medium heat. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of butter to it and let that be melting down. Oh, look at that. It seems to be fully heated. So we're going to pull this out and we're going to assemble our lunch. Okay, we're going to have to work pretty quick here. So we're going to take a large burrito size flour tortilla. I'm going to put it down. We're going to get our food right here that we heated up. We're going to get our potatoes on there. Get them spread out. We're going to get our veggies on there. And last but not least, our chicken. The air fryer heated that up just perfect for me. Make sure those potatoes are incorporated in there really well, because that's why we're here, is for the potatoes. Okay, I am going to add some cheese on. Now you could have took those potatoes and you could have added some eggs to it and some cheese, some other kind of veggies, some jalapenos. I have jalapenos sitting right over here, but I'm going to be using those for something else, so I didn't put them in this. I am going to take this and I am going to flip that over. It's pretty full, but that's okay. This is going to be a very hearty brunch for me. This would be great for dinner. You could eat this for breakfast. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to press that down, because this bad boy right here is going to be a little hard to flip over, I'm pretty sure. We're just going to let that toast up. I'm going to take just a little dome, a cooking dome that I have, and I'm going to put over that. and just help it get hot and steamy and let that cheese melt down inside. Okay, we're going to check this. Let's see if it needs to be flipped. And I think it does. So here goes nothing. Okay, I didn't lose a whole lot. That's great. Oh, a potato got loose. Okay, let's get this other side cooked up. Okay, let's put the dome back on. Let's let that cook for a few minutes. Okay, I've turned my heat off and I think we're going to call this done. The other side is brown as well. I'm going to flip it over so you can see it. There we go. Oop, no potato left behind. Okay, I have this plated up. Now I'm going to add something to this and we'll get us a taste. If I can get any out of this bottle, I'm going to add a little bit of this to the top of mine. Y'all hear it's at the end. That's probably all we're going to get out of that little squeeze bottle. So here you go. You can see it. Oh, the cheese is all melty, so it's kind of hard to lift it up, but let's give it a taste. Okay, y'all, I'm not even going to hold that plate up. I've shown you that quesadilla, and I am going to give it a taste, though. And I've got me a bite that I actually cut off because there's no way I could do that and hold that plate. So there you go. There's the potato right there on this side. It looks like a pretty good bite. So here goes. Oh yes. You've got leftover potatoes. Put them in a quesadilla or even a burrito. That would be really yummy too. While you decide how you're going to use your leftover potatoes, I'm going to go eat, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all. Let me get you even closer up in here. Look at that. Y'all, this is so good. Now, I hope that in some small way, this video was at least just a little bit helpful to you. If you've got just a handful of potatoes left, it's okay. Put them in the fridge. If you got just one big spoon left of mashed potatoes, it's okay. Put them in the fridge. And if you've got some taters left that you cooked on the Blackstone or you roasted in the oven, even in the air fryer, don't throw them in the trash. Put them in the fridge. And over the next day or so, decide what you want to make with those leftover taters, because even if it's just a few, it can make you another meal. So if you hadn't already done so, go hit that like button, share the video, leave me a comment below, let me know what your favorite way to use potatoes is. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.